Hello, my fellow movie fans, and welcome to another episode of A Feast of Films Theatre with your hosts, Matthew Ayalew and Ethan R. Hill. How's that? That was good?
Ah, yeah. Classic. Classic. What's going on, my fellow movie fans? Welcome to another episode of A Feast of Films. This is episode 28, part 2. As always, I'm Matthew Ayalew, and with me is...
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
That seems not right. I think
Okay,
you have
my
the
name
wrong
is
number,
Ethan
man.
R.
I think you have the
Hill.
wrong number. You're probably looking for my brother, maybe, or somebody else. I killed no one's father, as I can remember, but
Look, my name's Ethan Hill. You didn't kill my father,
Oh.
and
that was just you doing a
I know,
voice.
I just wanted to be.
wow.
I just wanted to be exciting.
Wow.
I wasn't even doing a voice. I was just quoting a movie.
Wow, that was really good. I didn't even know it was you. I thought
was
someone
pretty
called
bad.
the wrong number.
Matt, how much have you had to drink tonight?
Nunst.
Nunst? Did you say nunst?
Yep.
Ha.
Heats it up. Heated it. Heater heats it. I'm trying to remember something else anyway. I was talking to talking to Alex one night, and I can't remember what he said. It was something like really weird for like heat it up or something, but it was like heats it
Heats it
or
up?
like it wasn't heats it. Hot it up or something. No, it wasn't hot either. I can't remember what it was, but it was really funny. Anyway, great story. Good one, Matt. Thanks for sharing. Damn, you are welcome. You are welcome. What's going on, everybody? We're glad to have you here again for a Feast of Films, along with our non-understandable gibberish at the beginning of every freaking episode. We are glad you're here and that you stuck around to this point in the episode. So today we're going to be talking about tropes today for our part 2 of episode 28. Last time we talked about the films of 2007 and some great films that are greatly okay to watch. Go check out that list if you haven't checked that out. That was last week. But this week, we're talking about tropes. Are they good? Are they bad? Are they useful? Are they not? Should they be included in films today? Those are just some of the things maybe we'll tackle here. Maybe we'll tackle none of them. We never know how this is going to go most of the time. But we're definitely going to
that's the
give
point
it
of half
our
of this, isn't
best
it?
shot to get an answer to those questions. That's about as much as I can
We're gonna
promise.
hit you guys with our best shot.
We're going to give it our best shot. Yeah, because
We're gonna hit them
that's
with our
why you
best
spend your
shot.
time listening to podcasts, so you can listen to people. We're gonna give it the old good college try there. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
We're gonna give it 100%.
110% every time.
Exactly.
So, and then I'll have a question of the day at the end of the episode. But yeah, Ethan, this one is your topic. This is your baby. You brought this up. What kind of qualms do you have with tropes? Do you have problems with them? Do you like them? What are your thoughts on it?
Overall, I do not have a problem with tropes. What I've recently had a problem with is that people
first
are
off,
using.
because this is what happened last time we talked about something like this. Define tropes. Just for everybody. So we're all on the same page here.
Trope is basically it's a. I have the dictionary definition up here.
Okay, sure. Yeah, use that.
All right, let's
Nerd.
go.
Just kidding.
Let's just.
Kinda. Maybe.
A trope is a figurative or metaphorical use of a word or an expression. So tropes translate to more than just movies, right? It's something that happens in literature as well. It's goes as far as figure of speeches. It's a thing that
You complete me. Like that?
yeah, it's used pretty much. It's something that kind of is used, from my understanding, as part of just like the zeitgeist that people understand.
Right.
Things that like specifically talking about it in movies, like it's when a car gets shot, it explodes. That is a trope, specifically to movies, because if you shoot a car in real life, it doesn't explode.
Unless
But
you
in movies,
use a
it does.
rocket launcher, then probably.
Yes.
Okay. Just clarify.
So the problem that I have with tropes is now, for some reason, in this time period, in this generation, and there's probably been like this for it's probably been like this for years, but you're seeing it more and more because of technology and because everyone has a platform now. People are coming out of the woodwork being like, I noticed this trope, and therefore I am smart because of it.
And therefore, I have
And
intelligence.
I can't stand that. I'm so like, watching movies is great. It can be an educational experience. It can be an enlightening experience. And like maybe this whittles down to more than just tropes for me, but like I'm
Just idiots talking
getting
about movies. I
overall
hate it.
it's
While I'm jibber jabbering
it's
over
not
here.
about it's not about people talking about movies either. It's the idea that people use discussing media and discussing film and discussing that to come off as being smart.
Ah, yes.
And like I hate to be that guy to say it, but like liking movies or liking specific movies or noticing patterns in movies doesn't necessarily make you a smarter person. I'm not saying you're a dumb person either. I'm just saying it doesn't make you a smarter person. And what's bugging me
It's not like you could
is
go
that
into
there's
like
this
a freaking like nuclear physics class and ace it just because you noticed a trope in a movie.
no, exactly, but there's almost this arrogance from people who notice these things and they're like, "Oh yes, I noticed that in this movie this character had development and that was a trope and therefore I'm smart." And it's like
Element. Like, well, no
and
shit,
it's
guy.
like
That's the whole movie, man. That's every damn movie, unless it's terrible.
and that's the thing and it's like there's ones like this is why I should just stay off TikTok because it's full of this stuff where
Oh
it's like
man,
people being
opinions.
like, here's my series of like tropes that I hate, and it's like part 75, and I'm listing every single trope that exists, and it's like, oh my goodness, if you hate all the tropes, then never watch a movie because they're all gonna show up
Yeah,
somewhere.
there's a reason they're
That's
around.
just and that's what bugs me is they keep acting like it's a bad thing if a trope shows up. And to me, to answer the question earlier on if tropes are good or bad, it's how it's handled. It's not whether they exist or not, because tropes will exist. That is the nature of stories. You'll have that stuff. You're going to have those things that echo throughout.
Right.
That's just how storytelling works. That's why you can break down, you can break down and you can reverse engineer most stories to actually be the exact same patterns.
Yep.
That's why, like, there are movies that don't have three act structures that you can totally break down and say they do. Like, you can, with movie making, with stories, you can always reverse engineer things to find these things. And people act like that's always how it's been intended, and that people who create it either were just using tropes because it was lazy writing, or were doing it because it was super smart to use that trope.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's more of the second part where it's not about them being super smart because they're using the trope, but it's the fact of they use that trope like knowingly. They knowingly use that trope. If you're noticing tropes in movies, it's because the author, for the most part, especially at the Hollywood level, is aware that it's a trope and they're putting it in there because they know it's gonna work.
That's the thing. Tropes are around for a reason. They're around for a reason.
Well, especially at the Hollywood level,
Yeah.
Hollywood execs are going to want to see the things that are familiar because they're safe, because that'll guarantee them money.
Yeah, because
That's just the nature of the beast.
you betcha. Like it is at the end of the day, it's about the dollar amount, right? Like especially to the
100%.
execs, especially to the investors. It's not about like if you're making the most artistic, creative film. They don't give two squirts of piss about it. They care if people are gonna show up, put their butts in the seats, and put down money for that creative piece of art that you're making. Like it is all about the money, and that's why you see like such a slow shift in changes, especially in Hollywood, because it's tough for these untried things to get through and to have that chance. Because again, you're making a film, you're putting millions of dollars into something. It's like, damn, you don't want to just be throwing it down the drain, right? You want to get something back. So yeah, it's all about the money, man.
When it's like even like looking at just looking online, there's like I typed in tropes for movies, and the very first article that popped up is 35 movie tropes and how to avoid them in screenwriting.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, well, the first one is aliens. It's like avoid aliens in movies, and it's like,
So don't have
what
aliens in
you
any of your films. But what if I'm making a movie about aliens? Nope, can't have them. That's a trope. Like, okay.
it
This
feels
puts me in
it
a tough
feels
spot.
like it and like this is what really frustrates me. It feels like a trope when the motivation for aliens seem fuzzy, like Independence Day, but unlike Arrival. Okay, I've seen Independence Day and I've seen Arrival, and Independence Day, their motivation is way more clear than Arrival.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Like that
Arrival,
was,
so was
I
it
mean,
any
it's
good?
I was bored. I was
Oh,
bored. I
okay.
liked my popcorn flick alien invasion movie over Arrival. And people are going to disagree with me on this, and maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm too dumb, and that's why I don't mind tropes. But I
Yeah,
disagree.
that's usually my
I
reasoning
really
for things. I'm
disagree.
probably too stupid. To be honest, I'm probably just too
But I
dumb.
disagree, and it's like I don't know. Like it's again like some of these tropes are just fun. Like I don't understand why people specifically always think that they're bad or that you're writing a lower brow script or telling a lower brow story by using tropes because again they work.
Do you
I could
think
always just go over this list, but like
well, do you think like yeah, do you think tropes like a lot of people are saying they don't, but would you say they have a place today? Like that they should continue to still be used and like what's the right way to use tropes, right? Like you said earlier, tropes are okay if you're using them right.
well I think the trick to tropes is at the end of the day it's got to feel natural to the story, right? They have to have a reason for existing. They have to, you know, make sense within your universe. If you're just throwing them in there just because, well, I saw this in another movie, then that's where it kind of falls flat. But like a lot of times I'm like if I'm writing stuff and I come up with an idea and I'm like, "Oh, well that was already in this movie here." It's like, "Okay, it was similar in this movie. Was it the exact same thing?"
Mm-hmm.
And how many other movies was this also in? And that's kind of how you can find if it's a trope or not because it's again if you have that would basically by like saying like, "Oh, well, I have a hero who goes on a magical quest. Therefore, that is a trope." I mean, like, technically, yes, but at the end of the day, that is what most stories have to one degree or another. Whether your hero going on a
Whether it's
magical
magical or
quest is,
not, yeah.
whether your hero's quest is going across Middle Earth to drop a ring in a volcano, or whether or not it's, I'm blanking right
I
now
just started
on like
listening to
there.
the audiobook of Lord of the Rings too. It's pretty great. I'm having a great time.
It is great,
Just thought I'd
but
throw that
also you
out
can
there.
have
But
the exact same type of magical quest about someone going across downtown. Actually, no, yeah, the Warriors. The Warriors. It's a hero's journey about a group of heroes. It's the Odyssey. It's literally the Odyssey where they're trying to get home from across New York.
oh well, there you go.
It's the same. It's a quest. It's a quest, and it's like people are now starting to just say anything that has existed in another story before is a trope, and tropes are becoming this catch-all term for anything in stories. And it's bugging me and it's eating me up inside, and I'm probably not making a lot of sense with this because that's how much this bugs me, because someone on the internet learned the word trope and they just kept feeding it to people and more people kept eating it up, and all we talk about is tropes. And it's again it's just used to come off as, well, I know what I'm talking about and this is why you should listen to me, and I'm not here for that. I'm fine discussing it in a very casual one-on-one setting with people about tropes and discuss it. I like discussing that stuff. I like pointing out that stuff. I think it's fun to notice the, you know, good guys or badasses walking away from explosions. I think that's hilarious. I love that in
Yeah.
movies because it's a good cinematic moment. But don't sit there and talk down to me, especially if you're on a platform on the internet. You're talking down to your entire audience and saying, "Oh yes, you noticed that trope? It's terrible." because then anyone who enjoyed that trope or got enjoyment from that thing is now gonna feel like, oh, well, I shouldn't like this. I shouldn't get enjoyment from this thing. Oh, I guess that makes me a lesser like human being who doesn't like high art. Oh no, like, and that's not fair. That's not what art's about. Art's about entertainment and enjoyment. It's about different people getting different things. And as soon as you start like coming off as superior for noticing patterns, you're just kind of a jerk. Like, and I don't understand how people. Oh no, I know how people have those followings and build those followings from that because other people want to feel as smart as the person talking on that platform. So they're like, well, I have to agree and follow this guy because they have a lot of followers. Therefore, I must also seem smart by. It's the Joe Rogan thing. Oh my goodness.
negativity always captures a lot of attention too, right? Like anytime you're
It
crapping
is.
on something or hating on something, there's always a crowd of people who are like, yeah, let's crap on
And like,
that.
it again, don't get me
It's the
wrong.
truth.
I enjoy. I mean, we've done it a few times on the podcast here, where we've made fun of things, but we've also, I
Oh
think,
yeah,
we've done a really good job
rip on
too of
them
also
good.
ending it by saying like, well, we do say if someone else enjoys it, please like don't let our opinions of this movie take away from your enjoyment of it. If you
Well,
guys like
yeah.
movies that we hate, then all power to you. That's your thing. It's like there are people who love trash reality TV,
Oh
and
my
I'd never
wife.
take that
Oh
away
my
from them.
goodness. Sometimes she watches the worst shows, and I'm like, why? I don't get
But
it.
at the same time, I don't get it either. But at the same time, if that brings them enjoyment, all power to you. I will never take that away from someone, and like that's
And
basically it. But
yes,
I might rip on it with some of my friends, or even with the people who like that stuff. Like one of my friends loves trash TV, and we talk about it all the time. But we also rip on all the nerd stuff that I like.
yeah,
Like
it's all fair.
because yeah, well, and it's the idea of also realizing the things that you like. It's the fandom argument that I've talked about a few times, where it's like the things you like doesn't make you a special person. It's special to you, and that's kind of where it is. It's special to you, and that's where it should stay. But you shouldn't weaponize that and use that as a way to belittle other people. And people have used tropes like that, and I think that's mainly what my main rant about this whole thing is people weaponizing terminology and weaponizing ideas to come out smarter or seem to come out smarter than others. And it bugs me. It eats me up when someone tries to be the smartest guy in the room. I get really really annoyed by that because it's like there's always a bigger fish.
Well,
There's someone who's always going to be smarter than you.
100%, man. And like, I'm never gonna say I'm the smartest person in the room because I'm most likely not.
Matt, you're the
Most
only
likely,
person in the
every once
room
in a
right
while, I
now.
probably am. Depends who I'm in a room with. Like, if I'm in a room with a
Hey,
2-year-old,
Matt, I
I
have to.
might have a little bit of an advantage, but let's be honest, probably not that much.
At
But
this
I
moment, Matt,
totally
we are
agree with
both the
you.
smartest
And
people.
I'm currently the smartest
We
person
are
in the
both the
room right
smartest
now
people
because
in the
I'm
room right now.
literally in my own room by
Same with
myself.
me.
Exactly. So technically, we are
I
both
know
the
I'm by
smartest
myself
people
too, so it's
in the room. I'm winning, but
in our
maybe I'm
room.
not. Maybe I'm not
Exactly.
even winning. Maybe I'm also losing by that argument. Um, but
Well,
no,
by
no,
the
I.
same argument, we're also the dumbest people in the room.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But no,
It's a
it's very
spectrum.
true. Like terminology, whether you're talking about companies or whether you're talking about YouTube channels, like everyone finds these like they bring out of like the woodworks these different terminologies that sound catchy, that sound flashy, that people can connect to. And they use them to either like draw an audience or make them feel a certain way or get them hooked on like this one aspect of filmmaking is so important when really it's not. Like tropes aren't really that big of a deal. They become problematic if you're using them constantly in your films to get out of your problems instead of like actually coming up with some like creative,
Well, it's
natural ways for
using
the
the
story to move forward. You're just like, we're stuck here. We wrote ourselves into a wall, and you're like, let's just have this random thing pop up. Like,
that's the Deus Ex Machina, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know like all the tropes, but like
Yeah,
there's obviously the one where
Deus
it's like, yeah,
Ex,
you're literally like nowhere to go, then all of a sudden something pops up and it's like, oh, now we're saved, voila, you know,
which
and
a Deus Ex Machina is different than the lowest point of a script.
yeah, yeah, I'm not
Like
talking about the low
that's
point, yeah,
it's literally it's like, oh, I have this random like it's the I have a time machine that I can take us back in time to fix all of our problems.
exactly, yeah,
That's a Deus
yeah,
Ex
yeah,
Machina,
exactly.
where it's okay. Where have you had this time machine the whole
Like
time?
you
Oh,
just
I didn't need
things
it until now.
conveniently show up, right? Like, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And that's a trope, and that's and when they're used once in a film, people you can usually say like, okay, whatever. But if you're using it multiple times, like overusing those types of things, then they become
what is it?
problematic, right? It's kind of
Every one of your
like
different stories
like
too, right?
that was kind of like one of the things that happened in Rise of Skywalker. It was just like tons of conveniences like all in a row, and it was like, guys, come on, this is ridiculous. But anyway,
See, and
um
that was just things lining up really conveniently and weirdly. It wasn't even like Ex Machinas as much as just like, oh, it was. I think we might have talked about this like recently, and I've been trying to use this more. Um, I found out about Matt Stone and Trey Parker's writing advice
yeah,
of you need to connect your story with therefore or but as opposed to and
yeah.
then. And Rise of Skywalker is full of and
Well,
thens.
it's also it's and
And
then
then.
we conveniently found something like or and then we're conveniently standing in the exact right place at the exact
And
right time.
then.
Conveniently, our droid could not speak this language. Conveniently, everyone knows Sith apparently, even though okay,
Yep.
whatever. Like it's just tons of like conveniences, and that in itself is like we're in a bind. Oh, and then we conveniently it works out like that. That in itself is a trope, right? And it is used in films, but again, when it's used back to back to back to back to back through the whole thing, it's like this is becoming problematic. So that's when I would say again, I agree with you. Tropes are okay if they're used in the right place, right time, right way, whatever. And some are more broad, some are very specific, right? So it depends exactly what your film needs. But in saying that again, going back to like just tropes in general and what you were talking about, how they like kind of weaponize or how they create this image around this one verb, this one word out of the whole language of filmmaking and cinematography, trope, and then they use it to like get their following to either hate or like or whatever on it. But that stuff's used all the time, right? They're those pop words, words that pop that people connect to and are drawn to, and then that seems to be all that matters. A great example is like in the video game industry when like we had the next gen consoles were coming out. It was all about
Yeah.
ray tracing. It was all about 60 frames per second. Like they literally were
It's
like,
different
yeah,
buzzwords,
these
right?
buzzwords. They're selling these buzzwords, even though there is so much more going on, like behind the scenes, and there's so many more aspects to consider than this measurement, this mergent, X amount of teraflops, right? So yeah, like it doesn't matter whether you're a big company, whether a small YouTube channel. Like it's those buzzwords that people connect onto, and it's honestly a way to simplify our more simple-minded thoughts. Like if you're not expert in the industry, you're not going to understand. Like they're not going to be like, oh yeah, they're not going to come up with this complicated word or like all these different measurements, so we can like because we won't understand what the hell they're talking about. So they just come up with these couple buzzwords that they can use to sell products or to
Well,
sell ideas, and that's what they do.
and half the time it's just them pointing it out and then never giving you an answer as to like, well, what can you do instead?
Well, yeah, exactly. They're just like, oh, this
And
is
it's
junk.
like,
This is junk.
well,
And
the problem, the
that's
other,
very true. But I mean, like these buzzwords are kind of for the simple-minded. So like the point that like anyone focuses on them or like we notice them, it's kind of almost saying like, no, we are not the smartest people in the room. At the same time, because it's like, yeah, they're just for us like people who don't know everything about everything, and you know what? That's okay because none of us know everything about everything, despite what the majority of people think online.
the other problem that I have noticed with tropes is it has become so popular in culture zeitgeist and for people to know about that now subversion of expectations and subverting those tropes have become a trope
In
themselves.
itself, yeah. The
Like
anti
it's the
trope.
idea of like it's the idea of like, well, you expect me to have like this bad guy, this good or badass walk away from an explosion. Well, no, he's gonna be looked directly at it because subverting your expectations. Oh, he's gonna get knocked down by it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a lot closer than I thought. Isn't that great? Isn't that so clever that I subverted your expectations of that trope? And it's like, well, no, that's doing the opposite of it. Isn't exactly defeating that trope. You're just acknowledging that trope and that you know that trope, and you're just doing the opposite. That doesn't make it any more clever
Yeah.
or less clever. Like, again, it works for what it is. But it's the idea as soon as you draw attention to how clever you are, you're suddenly not that clever. You know what I mean? And there's
Ex-
pride. You can be proud of yourself. You can be
exactly.
proud of yourself. But
Well,
as soon as you're
yeah, and there's so many different like, yeah, like it's cool you saw it, man. It's like good for you. But again, you're never gonna go through anything without like any movie, any film without running into a trope, because it's just like
Mhm.
it's just a thing. Like it's just something that also is commonplace, right? Like it's a convenience for a character, or like for it to make sense. It's like some tropes are literally needed. Um, like the one that's always really funny is in those films where they're just like, I can't tell you over the phone. Come meet me here at X like 12 o'clock. And then
This
it's like
location.
the guy's gonna die and never meet them there, right? Like that's just like
Yeah.
that's the thing. But here's check this out. I looked up a couple different popular story tropes in like current
It's
fiction.
not a secure line.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, oh, I can't, I gotta meet you here instead, and then that person's never gonna make it, and they're like, oh no, like that's a trope. But like, if it's convenient for the story, sometimes it can be
I
played
was
funny. Sometimes you just
I was literally watching
knows what's
I was
up.
watching a clip I was watching a clip from the Justice League cartoon, and they had that happen where Flash calls Batman for backup. Batman shows up, and then it's Clayface pretending to be the Flash, being like, "Yo, Bats, I already got this covered." And Batman knew it was Clayface and stopped him.
Yeah,
And like that's using a trope, but using it well because it was still an entertaining thing that drove the plot forward.
yeah, exactly. Look at these. So I just looked up really quickly popular story tropes, and these are just a couple general ones in like current media, current stories and stuff. And tell me, how do you avoid all these? Right in crime fiction, missing persons, cold cases. It's like okay, yeah, those are tropes, but
That's
it's like,
that's just part of the
but like
genre.
exactly right, and like, but that's a trope within the genre. Historical romances, marriages of convenience. So married for something other than love, only to find true love in the end. It's like yes, that happens all the time. Heroes with titles like Duke or Earl. That is a trope, which is again,
That's how is that a trope? How is that a trope? That's just like that's literally if you are a lord or if you are part of a specific royal family or something.
yes, but
That's not
it's
even a
just a
trope.
trope
That's
like
just life.
in the romantic comedies. Like you said, it's just these things that like happen
Like
consistently over and over and over again
yeah,
because
like I
they
guess.
work, right? Like like sometimes even in you'll see this even in like modern day stuff, right? Where they're like
Yeah.
in love with royalty, even though it's like today's time. Like if it's set back in the days where there's lords and dukes everywhere, okay. But like nowadays, it's kind of ridiculous when you have like a love story between some random lady and the Duke of Milano or some bullcrap like that, right? So when you think like that is a very much a trope, but again, tropes have become so ingrained into our culture and into our storytelling, um, and some of them are very specific. Some of them are very vast and wide encompassing. Like you can't avoid everything. So to notice them isn't impressive at all. Historical fiction. What's a trope? World War II. How many are set in World War II or early America? Literary fiction. Small
Maybe because
towns,
that's one of like the
family sagas. Science fiction or AI apparently is a trope. Fantasy, epic fantasy. Like that's just what it is. Fairy tale retelling, like you said earlier, where they go on a quest to across the city or across the Middle Earth to drop the ring into the volcano, right? Like there's always those quests.
it's gonna have the same
Action and
beats.
adventure. Oh, the military or the character has a military background. Ancient secrets,
That's
codes, hidden treasures, thrillers,
that one
memory
bugs me.
lapses, children in peril.
The
What's this one? Cozy mystery. Okay, English village setting, bookish themes. Oh, there's like a book club store
the
owner. Okay, cool.
The action one bugs me because the whole military thing, or they have to have military training, literally came from so many people complaining that it didn't make sense that through the 80s these regular guys just knew how to do this stuff. So then we had to write into every single thing while I was ex-military, while I had time in the
Well,
military, in order to explain how they could fire a
and
gun
that,
or
but
how
that
they could.
also, but then it becomes a trope in itself, right? Because it's like
And that's
action guy,
but
of
it's
course,
because people
military
were
background.
complaining about.
But it's still a trope. But it's not a bad thing though. Like
But it's
that's the point I'm making.
and
But
that came from
that's the point I'm making from like reading all these things, is
But that
because
came from the same people who complain about noticing tropes. It's the same type of people who are like, "Well, it doesn't make any sense that you could just do that. Like, why does it make? It doesn't make any
no, it's
sense."
because
And
you
it's
can't
like
please everyone.
you can't please anyone.
No, that's very much true. You just gotta tell your story. But the point of me reading off those ones where it's like, other than like we talked about a couple specific ones a little earlier, but those are just kind of some generality ones that's like, listen, these are just part of the genre, and they're
Yeah,
very often like there's tropes in every genre. How do you get around some of them? Like some of them you can if you want to, others you lean into because it works for your story. So it just, yeah, it depends what you want to roll with. But they're not all bad. It just depends how you use each one in your films and in your stories.
and again, it's I don't. It just frustrates me at how much people use it as a mark of intelligence or a mark of superiority, because it's at the end of the day at the end of the day, and this is someone who spends all of his times watching movies. Congratulations, you watched a movie.
Yeah.
Good job. You did the bare minimum and watched a movie.
Well,
Like
nowadays we have a ton of geniuses. Like they're just
geniuses,
like
eh?
geniuses, and that tells you my level of intelligence. So you're welcome. I don't consider myself one of them. But
You
yeah,
got a
like
brain,
people just Google stuff, and everyone knows everything nowadays, right? Like it's the biggest
and
trick
that's
of Google. It convinces people they're educated when it's like really you're not. It's like you might be scratching the surface, or you're understanding the layman terms about things, but to actually understand stuff, you have to really dig and study for years, especially viruses and stuff. Like that's all I'll say about that matter. But no, I agree with you.
yeah, exactly.
It's like
But
everyone
like you
just
know, it just
we watch this one little thing, or we learn this new little word, and we're like, we're geniuses now. We got it all figured out. And it's like we're only seeing it. Just recognizing and understanding is a good step. That we're only seeing a very small part of the picture. Whether we're talking about um whether we're talking about COVID or these story beats in films and stuff. Um,
and I think that's where like at the end
Tropes.
of the day our
I already
answer
forgot the
we
word.
knew our
See, I'm kind of dumb. Tropes.
I feel like at the end of the day, me and you knew the answer to this question going into this, where the answer is tropes can be good and bad depending on how you use them. And that's basically it. It doesn't make you superior and inferior for using them. It just use them well and use them wisely. And that's basically it. That's literally it.
Yeah,
And
and if you're making a ridiculous comedy, use as many as you want, because then it becomes really funny.
100%,
Yeah,
like especially if you're doing comedy, milk it
yeah, just
and
milk it,
have
man, and make it
fun
real
with it.
obvious too. Make it real obvious. I love that stuff.
And that's the thing is like there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't know. And if you're using it to belittle people, don't. Stop it. Get some help.
Get some help, man. Get some help.
Yeah, that's anything else to add about tropes.
Yeah, no, I
Like at
completely.
some point, I wouldn't mind getting into some of them, like in more detail. But like my rant was basically more. I guess my rant was less about tropes and more about just people
People being
misusing or
ridiculous.
people
Yeah.
using the term in order to be. I'm tired of everyone thinking they're smarter. Listen to the experts, and just like do what you can to just exist, and don't like you don't have to force yourself to be an expert because not everyone's an expert. That's
Well,
fine.
yeah, and we don't have to all be an expert at everything, man. Like it's okay. Like it really is. But yeah,
Did you
we
know I'm
try
an
and
expert?
compete in this world of social media, right? And like And it's not even everyone's fault either, because we weren't evolved. We're not designed to interact with everyone in the freaking world and try and outgun everybody. Like, it's just, yeah, it's not the way we
Matt,
were
did you
made.
know that I watched a video on how to be a father, so I think I'm an expert on being a father, as opposed to you, because I watched a video once.
Yeah, well, to be honest, man, we're always just winging it half the time. It's like always something unexpected.
100%.
It's always an adventure, man. You never have the right answers. You just do the best you can.
That's life, though. That's
Yeah.
life, and people need to stop pretending that it isn't. It's literally, it's welcome to life. You're just doing your best and pretending all the way through.
Fake it till you make it, man. Fake it till you make it,
100%.
or you die. Yeah. So no, I think we pretty much covered kind of what we would talk about. Like, yeah, are tropes like important today and still can be used? I think we agree they should be used sparingly, or they should be used when appropriate. It's just all about how you manage them, right? If you're using them to constantly push a film forward and not without any really rhyme or reason to them, then yeah, they can become problematic and distracting. But yeah, no, Trumps, tropes, tropes are not as terrible as some might have you believe. What do you guys think about tropes? And what is your favorite trope? What trope kind of sticks out to you? Let us know down in the comment section below. What's one you notice when you're watching films or TV or even in a specific genre? Which ones kind of stick out? Again, I think my favorite one is when they're just like, yeah, I can't give you this information right now, but meet me here. I promise I'll be there. Then you're like, oh, that guy's so gonna die. He's so gonna die. And then he does. It's a fun time. I love those ones. What about you, Ethan? What's your favorite one? That's not my question of the day, but I'm just curious.
I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite one.
Any that give you make you
I,
laugh a bit, a little chuckle.
no, honestly, the biggest ones is like things exploding for no reason.
Oh yeah,
Like
that's
that's
pretty
one of my
good.
favorite
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Is like when things explode that shouldn't explode, but they do anyway. I think it's great because it's just it's like oh okay, all right. Now I have a new anxiety in life because I don't know if that's gonna explode.
That's
All right.
like when that thing was going online with like everyone cutting real stuff with like but there was like cake, there were cakes and shit. Like it just looked
Yeah.
photorealistic and it was always cake. And I saw someone doing a video. He was like just going around with a knife, like cutting things. He's like, I don't know what's real anymore. It was pretty funny. Anyway, yeah, no, that's always a good thing. Exploding, man. That's a great one for comedies too, right? When you like, especially, I can't remember what movie it was. I feel like it was like a horse and carriage or something went over a cliff and then it blew up, and I was like, what? Like, it didn't
Yeah,
make
yeah,
sense.
yeah. I know exactly what you're
I
talking
can't remember what
about.
it was from, but I think it was something like that. Like those are always funny. Those are so tropes can be used for comedic effect as well. We talked about that too. So yeah, hope that kind of answers the questions, and we gave it our best college shot there. And you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. There you go. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Okay, time for the question of the day. We're gonna keep it light. We're gonna keep it simple, seeing as we talked about a deep topic. And to be honest, I forgot about my question of the day was. By the time I got here, I got a little bit into tropes, and then Ethan was like, "What's the question of the day?" And I was like, I don't know." Yeah, I totally forgot. So that's totally on me. I'm definitely not the smartest person in this room. My other me is, I guess. Ethan, question of the day, totally irrelevant, not connected to film whatsoever. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream, bro? What's your favorite flavor
Oh,
of
phooey.
freaking ice cream? And is there
Oh,
any
phooey.
tropes
Like, are we
that
just
involve
talking?
ice cream that we can think of? I guess the kid losing his ice cream off the cone. That's a trope. Kid
Yeah,
gets ice cream,
that happens quite
falls
a
off
bit.
the cone.
Yep.
Eh.
Or then getting like the ridiculously tall
Yeah,
ice
like the
cream or
super tall ones. Yeah. There we go.
okay, so
Connected
like
it to film. You're welcome.
okay, so when you're breaking down favorite flavors of ice cream, does that include ice cream that has things in it?
Yes.
Like is Smartie ice cream a flavor or is that just ice cream with Smarties in it?
I don't know. That seems like
You
ice
see
cream
what
with
I mean?
Smarties in it. Yeah, I would say like unless it wasn't like vanilla, like it was like ice cream that was supposed to taste like Smarties that also had Smarties. Okay, sure.
See, but I think a lot of those like candy bar ones specifically are just like, hey, look, it's O. Henry. It's got stuff that's in O. Henry, but in ice cream, and it's like,
Yeah, but it's
okay,
put in ice cream and like mixed up. It's not like just like a
yeah, but
piece of whatever. But
I don't know if that counts. I don't know if
okay,
that
well,
counts.
let's say it doesn't.
Like,
My flavor, it doesn't matter to me.
well, then where does that leave cookies and cream? Because that's technically just
Where does
Oreos
that
in.
leave cookies and cream?
Because I love cookies and cream. I love like that's
I'll
probably my favorite
allow it.
flavor of ice
I'll
cream.
allow it.
But like,
I talked to the
but
judge.
also, man,
He
I'm a
allowed
sucker
it.
for. Here's the weird thing. I can give you my least favorite flavor of ice cream, and even then, it's like, actually, yeah, coffee's probably my least favorite flavor.
Oh, really? I like the coffee
I was gonna
stuff.
say chocolate.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm not a huge fan. I like coffee in my coffee cup. Anywhere else, it's just kind of weird. Like coffee,
I like coffee flavor in everything. I'll put coffee flavor in everything.
yeah, but it's like coffee, but with the disappointment because it's like, where's the caffeine?
With the disappointment.
I need to feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack if I'm gonna be drinking coffee.
Well, that's good for you, buddy. I'll let you
I
have it.
really like butterscotch is good, pecan is really good. I really, really, really like a good strawberry ice cream, like with like strawberry pieces in
Yeah,
it.
okay, yeah.
Like I'm not talking about like the carton you go and you buy a carton from the store and it's like, oh,
It's
pink
just
flavored
pink. Yeah,
meat.
no. I know what you're talking
I'm
about. Like the
talking, like-
quality shit, man.
Like the good stuff you get from an ice cream
Yeah.
stand, right? Like, but is soft serve its own flavor or is that just vanilla?
No, it's just generally vanilla, right? You can
Like,
add
it's its
different
own-
flavors to it, technically, like anything else.
But it's such its own thing.
It
that,
is
like,
its
I
own
love
thing,
soft serve
yeah.
too, but like, no, if I had to pick one, I'd probably say strawberry.
Good. Keep it simple, man. I love strawberry too. Like if I have the choice, like if it's like chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, I always go with strawberry, man. I'm definitely more in line with like the fruit flavors of things. Like, and that's just generally what I prefer. Like if you're like chocolate bar or like kiwis or something, I'd be like, I'll take the kiwi or the mango. Like I just like I like when I like
And I'm that
sweets.
fat kid who's like, I want both.
When I like sweets, I like them more of the fruit variety.
the natural.
Not even natural, dude, because it's like, yeah, I'll have gummy bears over chocolate. You know what I mean? Or gummy worms, because they're more of a
Oh, that's
fruit
fair.
flavored thing. Even though they're just pure sugar. So that's kind of like my, like, I don't know, my taste just goes towards that. Sometimes I'm still down with chocolate and peanut butter and those kind of richer ones. But most of the time, I'm leaning towards more of the fruit stuff. Now, in saying that, I think my favorite flavor of ice cream, I think it's Tiger Tiger. I think
See, and that's
it's-
one I could never
I
get behind.
think it's Tiger Tiger. And I mean, I like bubblegum because it's like, I don't know. I like it. That was always fun as a kid. There's like all the, because
Yeah, of course.
bubblegum also comes in various
little gum
different
pieces in it.
variants. And you had like the actual pieces of bubblegum in there. I always loved bubblegum as a kid. Rocky Road's pretty
the
good.
rainbow ice cream.
Yeah, the rainbow was always pretty good. Chocolate, like chocolate mint. I like that one, like mint chocolate chip. And someone's like, you might as well be eating toothpaste. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'll eat toothpaste then. I don't care. If it tastes this good, I'm down. But I think Tiger Tiger's my favorite one.
See, and I can't get past the black licorice flavor.
No, I love the black licorice, man. Even when I get jubes, I'm like, no one touch my black licorice. I like it.
You know, I can't. My grandpa used to love it, and I always debate going back to it just because it reminds me of my grandpa, and I always debate getting like a thing of black licorice because they look fun. But I'm like, Ethan, you're gonna hate yourself.
You are
You're
not
gonna not like this.
Yeah.
No one is gonna have a good time. You're just gonna make yourself sad because it's
Oh,
the sad
man.
candy.
Yeah.
But like, but the look of Tiger's always appealed to me, and I like orange.
Yep.
But like the black licorice always puts me off.
Fair enough, man. I get it. Like
So
the
what's
black
your-
licorice is not a flavor for everyone, and I didn't like it either for a long time. Like when I was younger,
Then you became a dad.
but no, I don't even think it was that. It was probably, I don't know. Maybe it was around then.
You slid.
Maybe it was conveniently around then. I don't know.
It's that's what happens. You become a dad. You like black licorice.
You're like, I'm
It's just-
I'm
it's a
all
thing.
down for black licorice, man. I'm all down.
Yep. Well, my life is over now, so I
Black licorice it is. This is how I view the world now.
I
Just
can't enjoy anything now,
blackness.
not even candy.
Just blackness. But if I go to like somewhere that's let's say like that what's that cold stone place called? Marble Slab or whatever. Have you ever been
Yeah,
there? It's
once
like Subway for ice cream. It's freaking awesome.
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much, right?
it
You're like, I'll
overwhelms
have
me.
this ice cream and like throw all these damn toppings on there. Marvelous. Like I'll usually get like it's funny because I get like raspberry flavored ice cream, but then I'm like, it's not raspberry enough. Add raspberries to that. And then I'll like get them to mix in like gummy bears and like score. It's like a really ass
You're like,
messed up.
I'm gonna be really healthy, and then just out the window,
It
just
starts
out,
off
just
really positive, then it's like, and we're scrapping that. Like, give me all that sugar, throw that in there. And then usually on like a white chocolate like dipped cone or something, like oh, so damn good. And
so like,
I've experimented with a couple different ones because I like the whole chocolate raspberry combination as well. That works for me.
mhm.
So, but yeah,
So what's your
it's
ranking
hilarious.
then out of the top three? Like out of the main three ice creams, what's your ranking?
Oh, like a vanilla chocolate strawberry.
And strawberry. Yeah. What? How do
I would
you
go strawberry, vanilla chocolate. Chocolate's like my
say?
least favorite, man.
Right, but there's always just one day. There's just one random day where you're like, I just want chocolate
Chocolate.
ice
It
cream.
just feels, yeah, that's true.
It just feels like a chocolate day. Yeah, but I agree.
But
It's
most of the time, like
like
I'll go for vanilla if I can, or strawberry. If I can't get strawberry, I'll go vanilla. If I can't get vanilla, I'll go with chocolate. But I don't know. Yeah, it's never been my favorite
that's,
flavor of
I'm
ice cream.
assuming I'm assuming same for milkshakes too.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah, like
always rolling with
it's
the strawberry,
translatable.
man.
Although chocolate shakes are the best if you're gonna dip your fries in them.
Ah, yeah, I don't do that. So
Have you ever tried it?
no, no. I've seen my wife do it a couple
Honestly,
times, but then I was like, I'm good.
you should try it, but specifically Dairy Queen fries. Queen fries and a chocolate shake.
Really, I thought isn't
McDonald's
it like
fries are
Wendy's
too
whole thing is like fries in your
and the Frosty's weird. The
Frosties?
Frosty is weird.
Yeah.
Like you can, it's just I don't know.
It's just not the
Frosties,
same, man.
I'm very mixed on because it's like just commit. Either pick ice cream or a milkshake. You just pick in between because it's like, hey, we're kind of different, but like no, just pick a lane and just stick with it.
Pick a lane and get in there, baby.
Exactly.
Pick a
Or offer all three.
Pick a spot and nail it.
Exactly. That's what. But Dairy Queen is probably the best for the fries, and they make like sturdy fries,
Yeah.
right? So it's like good for scooping.
Solid. Solid and steady. Solid.
The tropes and ice cream. You know, we started with a sour topic and we ended with a sweet one.
Sour and sweet, baby. Sour and sweet. But yeah, the ice cream trope in film is always fun when the little kid loses his ice cream, or it's like towering 3 feet above his head. That's always how I wished I got my ice cream as a kid too, but no.
But how would you eat it?
Single to double scoop. I don't know, but it would be fun to try, don't you think?
I have enough
Like
trouble with a double scoop.
like a
let
5 scoop ice cream, and then trying to balance that bad boy. Oh man, I think that'd be a
Honestly,
good time.
to be honest, my go-to most of the time was just banana splits.
There's nothing wrong with that either. It's solid. You got your strawberry, you
some-
got your chocolate, you got your fruit, your pineapple, you got your
Exactly.
banana. It's a nice mixture, actually. I like it.
Exactly, and I don't feel as guilty when I eat
Yeah,
it,
because I'm like,
even though
there's
it's
kind of
really
fruit
filling.
in here.
Well, it's the same thing, the peanut butter parfait from Dairy Queen, where it's just like, oh, there's peanuts, I'm healthy. And it's like, yeah, what about the
peanuts.
chocolate sauce, you idiot?
Well, they used to have like that brown.
Oh, no,
they
but
used
the
to have like
protein.
that brownie quake too, which was like pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I did get that every once in a while on a blue moon when I really felt like some chocolate, because it was like vanilla ice cream, like big chunk, like the brownies at the bottom. I think there was maybe chunks of brownie in there, fudge, and like the marshmallow top. I was like, or marshmallow sauce or whatever too. I was like, damn, this is like good. Like it was so rich, and it was like way too much for like any time,
See,
like
that's how
more than like once a year. But damn,
That's how I feel about cookie dough ice cream. Like, I love cookie dough ice cream, but like, it's so much.
man, I'm gonna have to go eat some ice cream right after this. I think
I'll maybe have to go buy some tomorrow.
I got some in the
I get
got
paid.
some in the freezer. So.
Oh, of course you do. You fancy pants
You
adult.
fancy pants adult. You just get your.
Oh, look, I'm
I
Matt.
just like I told.
I have a family and ice
told-
cream. What do you have, Ethan?
Wow.
Depression and sadness. Look under your chair. What is it? Crippling depression. Thanks, Oprah.
That was like when I was playing Civilization 6 and I made a bunch of A-bombs and I was like, atomic bomb for you, atomic bomb for you. And it was like blowing up everywhere.
Everyone gets an atomic
Everyone,
bomb.
you're against me, atomic bomb for you. There you go. Merry Christmas. Anyway, I'm sorry guys. That was something we were talking about a little bit before, but yeah, no, I just told my wife, I was like, pick up like a bunch of various types of ice cream just as a joke. And she brought home like one thing of ice cream and I was like, that's pretty good. I'll take it. So now I'm going to start asking for like 12 of everything and hopefully I'll get one. Seems like a good strategy. Anyway.
I'd be careful with that.
Anyway, except, yeah.
You're going to ask for a dozen eggs and she's just going to bring one egg. And you're gonna be like, we need
it's
it
okay.
back.
She prefers eggs. Anyway, that's it for our episode for today. Let us know what you guys think of tropes. You know, do they belong today? Do you enjoy them? What are your favorite ones? Let us know down below. Also, your favorite ice cream. What ice cream works for you? And out of the three main ones, vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, what's your order? What are you doing with them? Let us know down in the comment section below. Another fun, sour, sweet episode of A Feast of Films. Ethan, where can the good people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Ethan R. Hill. You can also find me on YouTube at Ethan R. Hill. You can also find my movie Damned Rights for sale and for rent at realhouse.org. Just go to realhouse.org, search in Damned Rights, you'll find it.
Cool.
Please support me.
Or you can stop at his house. But don't.
No, don't stop at my house.
Oh,
It's
no,
COVID.
sorry. Don't go to his house. Don't.
We can print copies for sale, but it takes a couple hours, so you're going to have to hang out, and no one wants that.
Least of all, Ethan. He's like, God, don't come over.
No, I like people. It's just exhausting when 12 of them show up at your house because Matt told them to come then buy DVDs from me.
That is a very optimistic number.
You're welcome.
Anyway, you can find me at the only place that matters, Storytellers for Life. It's a YouTube channel.
Hey, Matt, that hurts. They can find you here, too.
Oh, yeah, but like other than here. It's all about helping you believe in your dreams, live your purpose, tell your stories. Obviously, we're really digging into storytelling and writing. I just dropped episode 2 of my interview with Sarah DeWard, who's an upcoming author. Her book's going to be coming out in the near future. And I had the opportunity to sit down with her, and she just was an open book. She was such an awesome interviewee. She told her story from early small town girl with a dream to, published author, and like all the ups and downs in between. And it's just a great story, and I think really inspirational and awesome for all of us to be able to listen to as we continue to move forward in our lives as well. And just because you take a loss doesn't mean that's the end of the story, right? Keep on rolling. Anyway, that's it. That's where you can find me. Storytellers for Life. It's a great interview. Go check her out. The link should be down below as well. Anyway, that's it for us. Have a great night, everyone. Have a great week. We will see you back here, same time, same place next week for some more gold. We know you love it. As always, I'm Matt Black. Damn it, I'm Matt Ayalew. I'm Matt somebody. And with me as always
Want to take that again?
Is...
Inigo Montoya, you killed my father. Prepare to die.
God damn it, wrong number.
No, it's still me. It's still Ethan R. Hill. Should I say that less like Eeyore? And I'm Ethan R. Hill. Well, at least I'm not just Ethan Hill. At least I have the R there to make me stand out some more.
You know what the R stands for,
I wanted to
right?
stand out. It stands for Reginald.
It stands for... Yeah,
I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
Lady like that one. They're right. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
So long.
A toodaloo.
Yeah.